Hello, everyone. Welcome to the PMI Africa Conference 2021. And a warm welcome to this session, which is highlighting how African PMI chapters are core to the ecosystem of change makers. My name is Jean Mathenge. I'm the president of the PMI Kenya chapter, and I'm really honored to be moderating this session, which is titled Africa PMI Chapters, the cog in the ecosystem of change makers. This is a discussion that's powered by a unique and exceptional panel of PMI chapter presidents from 4 African continents out of the 20 PMI Africa chapters. Let me introduce this powerful panel. The first I'd like to introduce is Olive. She is the chapter president of Cameroon. Cameroon was chartered in 2014. They have 211 members. Go ahead, Olive, and say a greeting.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to this wonderful, exciting session of the PMI African Conference. My name is Olive Bumek Kimaoben, and we're going to have a wonderful time during this period. Thank you.
Welcome, Olive, and thank you for that. The next I'm going to introduce is Paul Omogbe. He is the chapter president of Nigeria, and Nigeria is one of the earliest chartered chapters. In 2005, they have over 1,000 members in 3 branches, and they have 657 PMP credentialed members. Go ahead, Paul, and say a greeting.
Thank you, Jean. Hello, everyone from Nigeria. I'm glad to be in this panel session, and I hope we'll all have a good time.
Thank you, Paul. Next, I have Maurice Barigie. He is the chapter president in Uganda. Uganda was chartered in 2014. They have 213 members, over 240 members actually, and over 90 PMPs. Go ahead and say hi.
Hello, Jambo, Mulimutia, Agandi. Very warm welcome to you all to this Africa Conference 2021. I'm glad to be here. I'm looking to have fun. Let's enjoy our networking together. Thank you, Jean.
Thank you. Thanks, Maurice. And last but not least, we have Danny from the Democratic Republic of Congo. And they were chartered in 2017, and that's why we're calling them one of the newest kids on the block in the chapters. They have over 32 full members. They have over 250 supporters and over 15 PMP credentialed members. Go ahead and say hi, Danny.
Hi all. Bonjour de Kinshasa, from Kinshasa, Center of Africa. We are happy to have you on board and looking forward to have a great discussion this great panel. Thank you.
Thank you, Danny, and welcome all to the panelists. I just want to say that I'm as a representative and of the PMI Kenya chapter. We were chartered in 2014. We have 518 members and about 291 PMPs. So we're really glad to be a part of this panel and to be representing the chapters in Africa. All right, so welcome all. Let me now just probably get us started on the discussion. And as we said, the title is Africa PMI Chapters, the cog in the ecosystem of change makers. So now let us see, so how are chapters a cog in the ecosystem of change makers? What are we saying when we're talking about that? Let me just move on to maybe Danny. Danny, tell us, how is a chapter a cog in the ecosystem of change makers?
Thank you, Jean, for the question. Let me get it practically and on the ground with a real example. You see, a chapter is a platform where project management practitioner and now change makers may gather to first discuss, network, and implement any activities they find it can actually promote the profession and impact the community. So how it's now a cog in the ecosystem of change makers. It's in the chapter, you will have people from various backgrounds, from various industry, and some of them may actually want to develop their skills and expertise in some specific activities. We know the job has been a challenge in Africa in almost all the countries. So the first job you get is the first job where you will stay maybe for long, but maybe it's not your favorite career profile. So the chapter is also not only to improve your own job skills, expertise in practicing through chapters activities and chapters initiatives, but you can also find the opportunity if you are a finance guy, for example, and you want to develop project management skills, you can find in the chapter opportunity to become a project manager of a specific initiative, which you will not have the chance to have in your normal work, you see. So these are the ways a chapter can give professional opportunity to really develop their power skills, and through this become change makers back in their work or in their communities, because they will have opportunity to find new skills to learn about, to develop some new skills, opportunity to get certification through the chapter. So this is how I'm seeing the chapter is really a cog for change makers in Africa, because you are having opportunity to do so many things, and the way and the areas where chapter can intervene are really limitless. So it really depends on the creativity and the dynamic of the chapter to go beyond all barriers. And the last thing is that the chapter being an organization, so you can also find opportunity to grow in skills. So if, for example, you are, let's come back again to the finance, you are an accountant in your normal work, but in the chapter, you can be the VP Finance, which will help you to grow VP Finance responsibility, VP Finance experience and expertise, and maybe look for a real VP Finance role in your work. So this is all the opportunities that are already there available with the chapters. And again, it's limitless. So it's really your creativity and your brain, your thinking and the dynamic in the group, in the chapter, which will limit yourself. That's what I can say here.
Wow, that makes the chapters sound like a huge community of people who are just together, and then they can kind of support each other and help you grow in your profession. Madam Olive, what do you have to say about maybe this membership aspect of chapters being a cog in the ecosystem?
You know, when they say ecosystem for change makers, first, what is ecosystem? You look at the community. You know, it's a kind of a global community that comes together. And now we're looking at we're looking at it from African perspective. So project managers or anyone who have inspiration becoming a project manager. And then let me tell you something. Everything that we do today is related to project management, no matter what background you own. Whether you're an IT, you're an accountant, you're a nurse, you're a medical doctor, when you're taking up your duties, your profession, you have to apply. Once you apply project management skills, I think everything will be well done. With project management, you have to be specified. You have a specific time on doing and realizing the various tasks. So when we say ecosystem for change makers, coming now to Africa, we as Africans, we want to make sure that things are being done in Africa the right way. So project management approach has already demonstrated that once you apply the skills, you have the tendency of succeeding. And we look beyond the normal day-to-day running of your businesses. And what we have to do is to see that project management approach is being applied. And now when we come about membership, we're talking about who are the members. Anybody can become a member of of PMI Africa or PMI Global. And now, how do we do the recruitment of PMI? Becoming a PMI member, you don't need to write a certain exams. Most people take this as a mistake, that they must be certified before they join PMI. No, you don't need to be certified, but because you are aspiring to become certified, then you are called to join PMI. And not only PMI, you have to join your local community, which is the local chapters. that are affiliated to PMI. So they represent PMI in your local community. So you have a lot of benefits that once you become PMI, there are a lot of benefits that you gain. You have the tendency of sharing knowledge with your peers and maybe even people who are more than you. And there's also this aspect of networking. For those who have, they will need opportunities, they'll have to come to these communities and interact, be able to interact with others that they have been so inspired to meet. Yes, so a lot of benefits are there in terms of membership. And with chapters, PMI has made it possible that we could be able to recruit members using the guest pass code, which is offered. Is a free code that is given to members, a 1 year validity access as a chapter member. But for you to be able to have this guest code, you should be able to be a PMI global member first. And I mean, if you are not, you can be, I mean, you can, but given the nature of Africa, we cannot compare the strength in terms of finances with the developed world. We know that in Africa it's kind of tough and complicated.
Right.
Thank you.
Thanks so much, Olive. In fact, you brought up probably raised a good angle, because with over 600 PMI members worldwide that make up the PMI community, what types of member categories are there in the chapters? Maybe I can throw that to Maurice. Maurice, what kind of categories are there in membership? If I was a student, can I join the PMI chapter?
Obviously. One of the things that Olive brought out so well is that you can be from any particular background, doesn't matter where you're from, and you'll actually become a member. So you have the corporate sector, so those who have 9 to 5 or 8 to 5 jobs. Then you have those who are students. Then you have the retirees, who we call grandparents, and all these categories people are actually eligible to become members, because PMI is about creating that particular family that share the same values, that share the same thinking about how projects should be run in the rest of the world. So yeah, that's one of the things that actually comes out very well. So.
Excellent. Paul, you know, there was something about what kind of sectors are represented in some of these chapters. If I were a farmer, or if I was, you know, I was interested in farming and I wanted to kind of, you know, maybe improve my sector planning, or if I was an aviationist or an educationist, can I get somebody else who's also in the same sector if I go into a chapter?
Yes, so the good thing about project management, just like Philip mentioned, that anybody can be a project manager. And the good thing about the chapter system is that we accept everyone from various profession and communities. So it's a community of professionals from various industries, be it a farmer, an accountant, a doctor, a lawyer. You all manage projects. So the chapter accepts anyone from any industry to be part of PMI.
Wow, that sounds great. There was something that came up about networking. So if you're coming in as a body of PM or project management professionals, what kinds of networking opportunities are available in the chapter? So if I come in as an educationist or I come in as a consultant, what opportunities are there for networking? And maybe I can throw that question to Maurice.
Thank you, Jane. You know, one of the things that we have in the world as a people, and I think this is actually true in every African community. There's something about united we stand, divided we fall, and no community espouses this like PMI, and this is what promotes this particular networking issue. If we were actually to just ask the background just of the people on this particular panel, you'd find that, you know, from diverse backgrounds. I'll give an example of Uganda. And during the COVID-19 lockdown, this actually has been espoused perfectly, because the lockdown meant that you are forced to meet people online that you probably wouldn't meet. So in Uganda, we have webinars every 2 weeks. So one time you have a farmer presenting, another time you have a doctor presenting, another time you have a banker presenting, and all these are talking about what they do in their own little spheres, in their own little sectors. And you find that the thing that unites you is actually something that is actually the skill set or the professionalism to deliver a project. But the project is delivered in agriculture. That means the farmer is able to plant and harvest better their maize, their beans. A banker is able to deliver a core banking platform in a professional manner. And they're united by that fact that they have PMI values, they have a way of working that is actually provided by PMI. So networking is one of the most important thing and most wonderful things about PMI. I could probably ask my brother from DRC to talk a little bit about it as well, because you know, as neighbors, we share quite a bit, Danny, you know.
Definitely. But on the networking point, Jane, what I would want to add also is now not only locally, but you see, as an Africa region or even at PMI Global, PMI gives opportunity to also meet and link with great professionals all over the continent and the world. And the other thing is, so for example, the PMI Africa conference, which used to be face-to-face conference, it was always a great opportunity to meet people from Angola, Mozambique, South Africa, and all over Africa. And you start growing your network, not only locally, but with professionals all over the continent, which can help you, for example, if your next assignment is in expatriation, the chapter can be the very best place for you to integrate your new community. And it will not be based on some subjective matter. It will be based on professional link with all these people with the same way of thinking, of the same passion for execution, project management, which is, I think, a great thing to get and to use in as a professional. So that's a great tool and a great opportunity in chapters, the networking ability and facility.
Thanks, Danny.
Yeah,
in fact, you brought up I was going to say that, you know, you brought up a good point about integrating communities. And the most recent PMI Africa conference that we did was in Dar es Salaam. And Olive's team, the Cameroon team, they came in a big way. Olive, give us your experience about how that networking was and what it did for you, what it did for, and how the energy from Cameroon actually resonated across the region. Go ahead.
Thank you. Yes, the Dar es Salaam, we'll say the Dar es Salaam experience still lives. And unfortunately, that is the last, before the outbreak of the COVID-19, that was the last conference that we had. We've had conferences in South Africa, Ghana, and Mauritius, and Dar es Salaam. And this time around, we're supposed to go to Nigeria. Unfortunately, COVID set in, and now we're doing it virtually. So, the energy, to come again and the networking and coming to meet and interact in one banner. And that's when we came in, we had this, you have the one song, one dance, and that was all about the dynamics in being as a PMI member. So we coming in with this synergy, it brought us this resilience, belonging, trying to make sure that we as Africans, we can make our voices heard. So how do we do it? It is time for us. We don't want just to be talking. We want to start working our talks by actions. And that's why when we talk about the ecosystem for change makers, everyone who is involved in this tries to bring in some contribution for better development. We know that we need a lot infrastructures. The African structures are so you know, the presentation in general is not very good. So being a project manager, what you have to do is always thinking of realizing your projects with the best practices ever. And I will just bring a little bit of kind of an open eye. There's a book that is going on, and they said, why do wedding projects never fail? Yes. So if all of us now we take this into action, they said the wedding projects never fail. You never have delays. You are never. So if all Africans can start thinking, having this mindset that each project that you are using should be able, or project that you're executing, you should have this mindset of managing a wedding. So that is all we have to take into consideration. And I think as Africans, we are ready for a change. And that's why we're there.
I like that, Olive. In fact, actually, like you mentioned, we have had a couple of PMI Africa conferences. The very first one was in South Africa. And in South Africa, we identified that this region, this continent of Africa, we have got super project managers, and we have got, you know, places where we have got very experienced project managers. We found out that some of the top, the oldest registered project managers are actually in Africa. So, you know, this kind of, yes, going from region to region, from South Africa to Ghana to Mauritius to, you know, and to Dar. And we're still waiting for the Nigerians to give us, Paul, we're still waiting for you to give us a conference, maybe sometime once the COVID restrictions are
Sure.
But these are really powerful, you know, kind of forums where we get a lot of community building, and we are connecting with other people in businesses and growing our project management profession, actually growing the change maker body. And so actually, so when we go into some of these networking, is there any learning that happens? What else do chapters do that continue to add to the change-making ecosystem? I'm going to send this question now to Paul. Paul, what kind of professional development or, you know, learning activities are available in chapters? If I come in as a member, what kind of professional development opportunities are open for me?
Okay, first, we have several chapter meetings. Just like Maurice mentioned, there are chapters that have their meetings twice, once in 2 weeks. In Nigeria, we have one chapter meeting once a month. And in such meeting, we bring in key subject matter experts to talk about a certain area. So there's a knowledge sharing opportunity. And then one other benefit of joining the chapter is that you have opportunity to become a PMP certified member. Olive did mention that you can join the PMI without being a credential holder. So at the chapter level, what we've done is to encourage people to be PMPs. And we've done that by trying to have boot camps where we train people in partnership with ATPs to get PMP certification. So those are two major benefits: networking, certification, knowledge sharing, and then community. We have like in Nigeria, I'm sure other chapters too, in Africa have it, where we have WhatsApp groups where you can interact, share knowledge, share job opportunities, and those are some of the benefits of joining chapters.
When you say, Paul, that's so interesting that you mentioned boot camps. What do you mean by boot camp? Is that a place where people come and beat you into learning, or what happens?
Yes, so there was an initiative that PMI Global started last year for the African region, which is the PMP initiative, and the idea was to have more PMP certification holder in Africa. So what we did in Nigeria was to start a boot camp, a 3-day boot camp, whereby we push it out to people to come and attend the boot camp at a discounted fee, right? Because we've realized that a lot of people do complain about the high cost of getting PMP trainings. And our objective is to make sure that we have more PMPs in the African region. So we partner with an ATP and get a subsidized amount for anyone who wants to write a PMP. So we have a 3-day boot camp where they come in and they take part in the training, and then we'll mentor them throughout the session. It's quite interesting because we have created WhatsApp groups for each of these sessions, right? Each of the boot camps, and that WhatsApp group serves as a community to mentor these prospective PMP candidates throughout the period until they get there and they finally pass their PMP. So that's how the bootcamp system works.
Oh, that's excellent. So that means that if I'm coming in fresh and I'm very interested in trying to get credentialed in, in a project management certification, I can just get into the bootcamp and they train me and they help me to get ready so that I can take a credential. Is it only PMP certification that you do your bootcamps in, or are there other certifications? Because I know the PMI has got quite a vast range of certifications, including Agile.
Yeah, so for now, we're starting with the PMP. Remember, the project management professional, it's more like the entry certification to PMI to take advantage of other PMI courses. So most times, everyone will want to do the PMP first. So from a survey, we realized that a lot of people want to do the PMPs. And when they come into the PMP, once they bootcamps, once they are PMPs, then we use the opportunity to tell them about the other courses that they can take part in. But PMP is the one that will have the bootcamp in for now, because it's more like entry certification to any of the PMI certifications.
Okay. Danny, this question is for you. Supposing I'm a student and I'm coming in fresh. I'm interested in being a project, getting into the project management profession, or even somebody who has never been in the project management profession but has a sense of it. Where do I get started? I mean, how do I now look at a chapter as, look, this is going to help me get into my career in project management? How does that happen? Okay,
in chapters, there will be probably some initiative to welcome newcomers. This is mainly on the membership side. And then based on your ambition and professional plan, you'll find some opportunity to learn like bootcamp and apart from what the chapter is doing to facilitate all their members to grow into professional development, PMI has got now also a bunch of professional product to grow at all level of a professional career. So you have for example, the kickoff for all the really newcomers into the project management field, which is on the kickoff.pmi.org. You can find a very short course introducing you to project management. Then you have the project management ready. You have the CAPM for the new student and the young professional before you go into the PMP. So there's a bunch of products which are available, and the chapter is like the boots or the supermarket for you to have easy access to all this product to enhance your project management skills and expertise if you want to grow into this.
Okay, great. I know we're running out of time, and this is such an interesting conversation. I wish we can just continue for another 10 or so minutes, but I want us to just talk very much about maybe opportunities that people can give back to the community, or they want to give back to the profession. How are our chapters giving opportunities to members so that they can, if I feel that I really want to make a mark in the profession, how do I do that? I'm going to send this question to Olive real quick. Olive, just a quick, maybe half a second, yes.
Yes, thank you very much. Make your mark on PMI and the profession. That's something that PMI gives, gives the opportunity for members to become. So they has the profession of the project management. What happens is that PMI is one of that organization that gives the members the opportunity to hold responsibility or responsible positions, roles, or take over roles like the president, the vice president. You need to be, you need to have the zeal, you have the passion of doing project, and as a member, you are open to take any of these roles. Whereas in your organizations, you might never have this opportunity to become the CEO of your company. You might never have the opportunity to become a manager or a vice president, but as a member with the PMI and PMI chapter, if you have, it's about the zeal that you have for your profession, and you want to showcase that you as a project manager, you can be able to to take certain roles. So you have
Thank
roles
you.
like the president and the vice president, the managers, directors. And so that is all the benefits. And once you have this role, you execute them in full capacity. So if you don't do that, you will be able to see that you will not be able to get into even organizations. You know, if you cannot succeed as a good leader with PMI, because it builds your capacity. If you are not a good member, a good leader, you will definitely not be a good leader in any organization. Thank you very much.
Thanks so much. That is great. And Danny, let me just give you just half a minute so that you can say something about that, about how the chapters can give back to community.
Yes, here maybe just for to quickly give some images. We have here, for example, chapters like Angola chapters, which have been very great in implementing some social good, especially during the COVID. They've built some this tool to wash hands for the schools and some the poor areas in Luanda. Also, another great impact that the chapter is giving, for example, in Namibia. The Namibia chapters has been selected to be involved in the economic recovery plan, national economic recovery plan, in the area of monitoring the execution of the plan by the government. So you see, these are just examples of what a chapter can give you the lead and the opportunity to do to impact your community, in the same time develop your own professional profile. Thank you, Jay.
Wow. Thank you so much, everybody. I know we have run out of time, so we're going to have to wrap it up. But there's been so much information, and in just a few, maybe I can just grab a couple of takeaways from everything that you've said, especially this last one about volunteering and social good. I think that the PMI chapters have done a really good job, especially during this COVID season. And the volunteering is an excellent way to build your servant leadership skills. Maybe that can be the takeaway just from this last bit. So I just want to say a big thank you to all our panelists for the valuable insights that you've given us about how, you know, the various areas that the PMI chapters are necessary components in the ecosystem of change makers. For the conference attendees, if you're looking to grow or to solidify your profile as a change maker, here are some key takeaways. And maybe you can start by being a member of a local chapter near you. We've got over 20 chapters in the Africa region, and you can choose any one, join them and become you know, part of the 600,000 members that are around you, and be part of a leading community of project professionals who are making a change through delivery of projects. Next, tap into the networking and professional development opportunities. We bring in industry leaders, like you heard from our panelists, where you're learning every day. And sometimes you can even, if you don't have somebody to converse with in your own sphere of influence, you can actually go to a chapter meeting and find somebody who is going to give you mentorship, who's going to talk you through some of the bruises and the pains that they've gone through, and you can get a lot of lessons learned. You can also explore a lot of the latest ideas, see what is trending, and this is what some of the chapters are excellent about. And then also make a difference in the profession through volunteering and social good. And we've got more, the PMI culture is very much based on volunteering. We've got over 14,000 volunteers. And so you can be part of that and you can make a mark in this profession. So with that, let me just say, to connect with us, please go to pmi.org. And you'll find out where you can connect with your chapter. And even as we're continuing the conference, you can still connect with a lot of people on the chat groups and, you know, exchange your phone numbers on some of the various social media platforms. So with that, thank you all. Thank you to the panelists. Thank you so much for your time, and enjoy the rest of the conference. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.